You can always watch the recording, as you guys know, at a later time. We record all of these. And on that note, I'm being assisted today by Jenny. Many of you guys have probably interacted with Jenny before and seen her give some of these webinar presentations as well. Jenny, if you could go ahead and begin the recording right now, that would be excellent. All right. My name is Chad Klein. I am an account manager here at Paladin. Worked here for about 2 years or so. I just want to thank you guys again for taking the time out of your busy schedules. I know it can be hard to set aside a couple minutes to come get some education, and we really appreciate your guys' ongoing attendance. That really fuels the motivation for us continuing to do this, so thank you. Today we're going to be talking about custom reports using Microsoft Access. You can make your own. You can go into Microsoft Access and make your own custom reports. Today we're not going to be going through it's a pretty complicated, involved process using Microsoft Access to create your own reports. If you would like to know how to do that, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to educate you on how to do that process. It is a little bit complicated. Many times, people will not want to go through the process, and I'm sure no one listening here is lazy, and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Everyone else doesn't want to do the process, so they'll call up Paladin, and they will pay us to build them a custom report. Usually a couple $100. It's always exactly proportional to how complicated the report is that we need to make for you. When we do a custom report like that, we distribute it to our entire custom base. So one person paid for it. We built it specifically to accommodate their needs, but we distribute it to everybody, just like we do with new features. If you call us up and we build you a custom feature, we then distribute that feature to everyone as well. So today I want to be talking about some of those reports that we have built for people already. How do I get them? How do I access them? And what do they do? So we're going to be covering those things. Should be keeping it to about 15 or 20 minutes for us this morning here. Okay, so a little agenda here. We want to go over how to download the Microsoft Access templates. If you guys have watched the webinar on bin tags, this is going to be very similar. It's the same process to download the MS Access templates for bin tags, shelf tags, custom signage, things like that, as it is for the custom reports as well. But we're going to be reviewing that. The knowledge base article, How to Create Reports in Microsoft Access, is an excellent resource. Please use that. We're going to go over how to access those reports. Where in the software can I get to them, as they're not in the report module that we're all familiar with. And then the reports themselves. I want to go over a couple of those. What are they doing? Why did we make them, sort of thing. Okay, downloading the MS Access templates and the LTSR labels, tags, signs, and reports catalog. In the Maintain menu at the very top of Paladin, there's the little things like File, Edit, Help. There's one that says Maintain. If that's a little drop down, there's one that says Downloads. If you hover over Downloads, it'll come up with a little drop down on the side, and one of the options is MS Access Template Signs and Labels. You want to click that guy right there. It'll go ahead and begin downloading. You can do whatever you want to do in the software, and a little message will pop up saying success. It has been completely successfully downloaded. That means that you can now go in and access these custom reports. I'm going to show you guys how to do that here in 1 second. Now, how to access the reports. We do very similar. So I have the little box up there. We see the File, Edit, Maintain, Task. I cut that out of the Paladin software. It's just a little picture from it. So the reports one right there, you'll click on the reports, and then it will go ahead and bring you into your MS Access template. And then you can select your single store, your multi-store, whatever sort of tech environment that you're living in, whichever Paladin solution that you have. And you can view all the available custom reports that we have in there. So let's go ahead and do that here, both in how to download the catalog and how to access these reports. I'd like to hop over to Paladin so I'm not losing anybody, and we make sure that we're following along here. Okay, so got Paladin pulled up. And right here up at the top, we want to go up to this Maintain. If I click on this, I've got some options here. One of those options is Download. If I hover over it, I can see a couple different options. I want this last one, MS Access Templates, Signs, and Labels. Just by clicking that, I've already downloaded on here, so I'm not going to do it. But just by clicking on it, we'll begin that download, and then a little box will pop up saying, it has been successfully downloaded. You can now access the reports and bin tags and labels, things like that. And where you go to access those, as we were speaking about a little earlier, is right here, this reports. Click that guy, MS Access Templates. That will go ahead and start up MS Access, Microsoft Access. And then we've got some options here. Item tags, bin tags, shelf tags. If you guys watched that webinar, we covered a lot of the stuff in there. We want this one down at the bottom as reports. And from here, I can go into either single store or multi-store reports. And now this is a list of all the custom reports that we've built for people over the years. So that's how we want to go ahead and access these. And once we go into these reports, they've got some sorting options and those report settings on each one that you can kind of define how you view the information and how Paladin is processing your specific request. Okay, so the reports themselves, let's go over a couple of these guys here. And each report has some nuance to it that you can set to control how Paladin thinks about it and presents the information. So make sure that if you're wanting to use one of these, play with it a little bit. Try it out, see if you like the format that it gives you. I've also attached links to all of the knowledge base articles for each of these reports. Not every one of the reports has a knowledge base article behind it, but most of them do. Look in the next couple weeks for the ones that do not, as we are always trying to make more knowledge base articles. And I just talked to the technical writer earlier this morning, and we're going to work on some of these reports, or some of the articles for the reports that we don't have articles for. But a lot of them do. And if you want to, you can go into the knowledge base and search, for this first one, how to create a last counted report. And that'll kind of give you the nuance and all the little settings that we can set to make sure that it's giving us the information like how we want to see it. So the first one is our last counted report. Now this report is, I don't want to say necessarily outdated, but we have the dial now. Many of you are familiar with our Paladin Insight dashboards that is showing you a real-time information of what this report shows you. And it's just items that have been missed during location count, what items haven't I counted over X amount of days. So this report is very much a reporty version of that real-time dial that we've created since we've created that report. But it's an excellent resource. Use it. The sales commission report. This is one of those that is kind of finicky. We really have to make sure that we're setting it up correctly. There's some setup things. So make sure that if you want to use this one and you want to start tracking sales commission, if you have a lumber yard or a building materials store and you have salespeople on the floor with customers and you pay them a commission, Paladin can track that. And we've built a whole system to track that. So make sure that if you want to start using and tracking commission to pay your salespeople, read the nuances about it to make sure that you're using it correctly. But being able to track the commission is entirely possible within Paladin, and we've got a report that can very quickly show you what you owe your salespeople. The promotion sales report. This one allows us to see the sales, margin, profit, loss from a promotion ID. So every promotion that you'll have, you'll assign an ID to it. As you've created a sale list in Paladin, you're familiar with this. You're going to have your ID. Well, this allows you to select one of those promotion IDs and a date range and see the sales, margin, profit, loss attached to that specific promotion. Pretty useful little report. The SIGIS, the Special Interest Group for the IIAS Standards Items Report. This is for our pharmacy businesses listening today. This will allow you to see all of the SIGIS items, all the items that are able to be processed by a flexible spending account card, the FSA, HSA, HRA cards. This will show you all the eligible items that you have in your over-the-counter inventory. And in your inventory module, there's a little box in there that has flex. A lot of those items are checked. That's a flex item. This is essentially just giving you all of the items that have that flex box checked. The profit sales report. This one allows you to see the sales of all your inventory items, your gross profit margin, the profit amount, and the sales total for all the items sold. Pretty nice little useful. I was playing with it yesterday. It's kind of a cool report. You've got some fun settings in there. The margin analysis report. This you can select a date range and a single department, and it allows you to see your margin breakdown per invoice. So not per item or per customer or per date range or per department. This actually shows the margin breakdown per invoice. Very useful. Supplier rebate. Occasionally we have suppliers who offer rebate promotions that go to our customers. They mail in the rebate, we give them the money. Well, we need to see which items we've sold under that rebate. So if you have a supplier that's doing a rebate, you can use this report right here to show you all the sales attached to a specific supplier, and then you can mail off that Excel. It's exportable to an Excel spreadsheet, as many of our reports are, and then you can mail that off to your supplier saying, hey, these are the eligible items on the rebate promotion that you've been offering my customers. Tax by zip code. Sometimes your accountants need to see the tax breakdown by zip code as opposed to our normal county, city, state tax breakdowns. So this report allows you to go ahead and see them by zip code. Last couple here, the sales average report. We want to see the total sales by selected part numbers and transaction averages. So again, at the invoice layer and by the part numbers that you have, you can see kind of the invoice averages, the transactional averages attached to these items. The item sold summary report. Really good one just to see which items have been purchased by your customers and then total all the sales. We have a very similar report to this one in the actual Paladin application. This one's a little bit different in that you can see the groups of items purchased by a specific customer, not just a list of all the items that you've sold over a period of time. The sales export report, this one just allows you to export this report to Microsoft Excel. So you can see all the items sold in a date range and then export that report to Microsoft Excel and do whatever your heart desires with it, as Excel is extremely flexible. Change our column rows, tally them up, whatever we would like to do. So when you have some extra time, go in there, and there might be one of these reports. This is the reports that are in there. But look them over. See if you like the layout. Sometimes it's got a really clean layout. I like a lot of the layout. Sometimes the reports in Paladin can be really busy. There's a lot of information going on there, and it can be kind of hard to dig through for just that little nugget that you want. So try out a couple of these reports. See if you like the layout of them. As I found, I was playing with them yesterday a little bit, and I just found them to be really clean. I liked them a lot. It was just an easily displayed way to get this information, and it was very specific. I'm looking for this. It gave me that. So very easy to use. Hopefully you guys will continue to use these resources here. Please call us if you have any questions about the reports or any of the nuance of the reports themselves. All right, guys, as I promised, we're going to keep this one a little bit short and sweet today, 15, 20 minutes. So next week, please join us. We will be doing one on, oh, this is going to be an exciting one. We're doing one on Margin Master. Pretty little known topic. We integrate with a program called Margin Master that allows you to kind of play with your margin a little bit and do some really exciting things and compare your margins to other competitive stores that are selling and kind of see what their margins are as well. Really cool software. It should be pretty exciting to learn the integration between Paladin and that software and how it can benefit a business. And that will be done by Charles Owen next week. So please tune in if you have some time. Again, these webinars are all recorded, so you can always go to paladinpointofsale.com/webinars, and you'll go to our landing page. You can see them, download the slides. You can also access them within the software application itself. Up at the Help menu, there's a little drop-down. One of the options is Webinars, and that will take you to our landing page. Thanks for your time, guys, and we'll see you next week.